Hi guys, welcome to Seven Castle Games. And today on the table talks, today we're not going to have Hugo. Hugo is going to be really busy. He's moving home, so unfortunately he won't be able to do the even remotely. He won't be able to have the call today. So and today I'm going to read a game that I've played last weekend, which I love with a team of six. So I did pair with another guy, which was really amazing. And I'm going to talk about what I've loved on this game, and I did love. And what I'm bringing you is Concordia Venus. So Venus, it's an expansion of Concordia that allows you to play with teams, and that's is for me it's a really better game than actually Concordia itself. Concordia itself is another Euro game, but this gives you the option to play with teams, which I think it's really amazing. So it's going to be a little bit kind of another game that I really love, which is Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, when you play an action, that action is going to be played among all players, but in this case, it's going to be just your team. So when you play an action, so let's say that you want to build a house or a factory, it means that or a stand, whatever. I think it's a factory of a specific type of goods. The other player can also build that factory. So and then on his turn, then they can choose like to pick up resources to build after the next time. And it's really interesting and it's really important, which in my case that didn't happen because I wasn't able to understand the game. We all played, that was just a unboxing the game. Actually, I brought the game into Dublin board game community, and we was a new experience of unboxing a game and play it. So of course we all of us had previously studied and saw the videos about the rules and how to play, and that helped us a lot. Of course, it's important for you to learn the rules before you go to play, but in terms of strategy and everything else, we didn't know how to deal with when playing with two people. The advantage is and let me bring you here the map, because this my version has two, the English version and the German version. So and when you play your couple, when you're playing with a couple, you start all one team starts in the center and the other team starts any other place. So and it's quite or you define the strategy right at the beginning. So if it's the first time to play, it's going to be hard. But the second time, you're like, yeah, probably we should start from getting all the resources together and in the same region, try to create a factory, and then I create a second factory, and so on and so on and so on. So not only the cost is going to be lower, but when you're going to produce for that specific region, you're producing for both of you, for both in the team. And we didn't have this strategy. No one had that strategy. We only figured out after the second turn or third turn or whatever. We were quite almost at the end of the game when we figured out, yeah, we should be doing this. So it was too late to figure out. But still, we run a bit against against that, like, against the strategy that was, yeah, but probably we should focus ourselves in building in one region, and then when we're going to produce, we can be able to produce for the entire team. In this case, only two people, of course. Um, Actually, I think we can play with three people this game, a team of three. I don't think there's a limitation, although the game has a team of two. But I think you can play teams of three, three and three, 6 people. So we play with 3, 6. maybe you can play with it gets really competitive, of course. Then it's one team against the other. That's really competitive. Here, it's a little bit more homogeneous, let's say. But it's quite interesting to play. Actually, that's one of the things that I'd love to do it, to play team against team, like three people against three people. But one of the things that I really love in the game is not only play with people, but there's some similarities in terms of with Puerto Rico. It's also one of the game that I love, but instead of you putting a tile, you're putting a house for that factory, so you can produce more of that specific good, and that good then is going to translate into something else that you can sell, or even to build other factories. So if you need to produce stone, or you need to produce cloth in order to build a still stone, what do you call it, stone stone factory, something like that, or tool factory. And then the other one, it's like a fabric factory, whatever. So you need that specific resource in order to be that type of factory. One of the things that's concerned in terms of the game was, I think it was the things were a little bit expensive. So we didn't focus much on the cards, which are going to give you points. So you're going to have this type of cards that has some benefits. So this is going to allow you to what is that? Oh, this is in German. I picked the wrong card. Anyways, so this allows you to create one more colonist, for example. Let's say this is going to be a colonist. Okay, I think it's not, because I don't remember what this card does. So because it's in German. So let's say that it creates a colonist. So it does what the card do here, and then you have a cost associated to buy that card. And that's the things where I think you should have a little bit more balance, because when you are in the boards, when you're going to purchase the cards, so you must comply with two type of resources. One is this one underneath here, which it's one cloth and one wine, and plus one cloth. So you need to have two cloths and one wine in your storage in order to buy this card, and that's quite expensive. Especially if you are in the beginning, of course. As soon as the cards, as soon as the time passes, the cards it's removed and it's substituted by another one, and that card then moves from here to here and gets cheaper. Although with the 6 players, it's quite expensive, or at least the board that we've played, it was quite expensive, and basically nobody bought cards. And this is quite important, because it's based on this here that the card's going to give you a point. So you're going to multiply your points that it's here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that I have 4 cards with Jupiter, and that card multiplied by something else is going to give me more points. And since this was quite expensive, nobody cared about the cards. Everybody went to let's build, and that more towards at the end was when people started to buy cards. But yeah, the game was almost gone, and there was 2 ways to finish the game. Actually, we were already 7 hours in the game, and we wanted to, guys, let's finish this. And there was 2 ways to finish the game. One is finish this type of cards, the Venus cards, and the other one is by building. So as soon as you reach the 15 houses completed, the game finished. And that was my goal, because we were already reaching the 7 hours game was taking too long, and we decided, guys, let's build to finish this. But there was some guys I was more concerned in terms of building and finishing game, but there was more guys still taking consideration the strategy and going to and buy all the cards that were available. At the time, I didn't have any more money in order or resources to buy it. They were quite expensive, and that was quite costly for me. So, and at the beginning of the strategy, there was 2 ways that is not explicit in the game. How you're going to define the strategy with your partner. You shouldn't be talking, but there are always some ways you can explain, hey, play this or play that card, or I'm thinking in building something, or I need resource. Look at to my board. I need resources. So you need to play. You need to play a card to produce, or you need to play a card to sell something. So there's some kind of tricks that you can play with your partner. Even if he's not beside you, that was one of the things that we've done. We shift the people all together, and that was really, really funny. And of course and we end up losing, but and the team that we supposedly was not winning, they won at the end. So that was quite interesting, because you started to count the points and the houses. We thought, yeah, we have plenty of points, but these cards are really, really important. There's also a Kickstarter campaign on this Concordia, which is going to have more expansions. I don't think the Venus come in. I need to check that. But if you like Concordia, I did love Concordia with this version with the team, with playing with teams. I think it's a really, it should be a game that you should have on your shelf, because you can play with teams. I love collaborative games, like playing in teams, or even Pandemic, that kind of game. I love them, but that kind of game does a good and a bad thing, which is if you are a person that likes control, you should play this, you should play that. That's not a good game. That's not a good game for that kind of people. So I think you should play that game with people that are all in sync, and you're not enforcing to, oh, why you should play, why you move there. We are the disease is spreading in Madrid or whatever. I'm saying Madrid because it's or Spain or Portugal, whatever. I'm saying that because I have the Iberia version. So and then people sometimes your team or within the not take it well. So it's quite concerning, that type of people. So you need to be careful. And sometimes I have the intention to, oh, why didn't you move there? And I say, and I go, no, it's you play, you decide, keep it going, unless you screwed up the game entirely. But that's the game, man. That's the goal. And here in this Concordia Vidas, I love playing with teams, and it's one of my favorite games in the top shelf. That playing with teams, I think it's really interesting. Of course, you have other games which you could play with teams theoretically. One of them is actually Steam Cities, which is there in the background, similar as we play with Game of Thrones, for example. Game of Thrones is where you can collaborate and support the other player, not directly with resources. And here in Concordia, so Concordia, you don't share the resources. The only thing you share, it's the money. So, for example, let's say that in my turn, I'm trying to collect resources and sell them, and then when my team players, he's going to choose something like, because there's cards that you have double action, which one player can do one thing, and the other player of the same team can do something else. And you can choose, like, for example, get golds, coins, or setaris, and I don't know that. I always called something else. And so you have that where you get the money basically for your a colleague to build something. And there was actually one of the team who was doing that. He was feeding his teammates with the money basically, and the teammate was getting the money in order to build, and that was quite effective actually. They had a really good strategy. Our strategy was more to towards at the end, more to work together, like, to, okay, let's produce just in one in one region, My problem was I didn't get any cloth, and cloth was quite important more towards the end of the game to buy those type of cards, and which I failed. Anyways, talking about the Game of Thrones and SimCity, so there's also the possibility that you can play together without playing together. So you can create alliances. Like for example, one city can create alliance with another city, but it's not public. Okay, so you can support them or attack the other, or anyway, that can be done on SimCity. This is similar to the Game of Thrones, where you have support just in the battle, but in SimCities you can have sabotage, you can have trades, you can have plenty of stuff which you can play together if you want. It's not explicit in the game, but you can do that. So this was my table talks, my view on the game, which I love it to play, and hoping to play more often now that I know how to play and how to do a proper strategy. So bear in mind, if you want to play with in teams, try to define your strategy right from the beginning. Try to see, guys, what we should be building. What is, because for us was the first time that I spoke with my colleague, we didn't have quite of a notion. Nobody had a notion of how the game will play, and we end up to, okay, what should we go? Should we go for the lowest resources, or and plenty of them, or the highest resources, a fewer of them? So that was a wrong strategy. I think the right strategy is going to, let's target a region. We both build there because the third and the fourth is going to double the cost of it. So the first you go there, it's the best. It's better. So you go, you and your colleague. So your colleague try not to, your teammate not to try to step too far away from the city. So bear in mind, when you're starting the game, you start with at least one distance. So for example, where is the other? Okay. So for example, one player starts here where's the yellow, and the other one starts here where's the red, and then they meet together here in this region, or that one, or this region, and then attack that region as well, and start to build on those. And when you're producing for both a region, of course, that has a different type of resources. That's quite important. Anyway, I think I really spoke a lot about the game. You see that I really love the game, and hoping that the next time I'll have Hugo here with me. Bear in mind that we also launching the Kickstarter campaign soon, so don't forget to resist. You're going to have the mini expansion, which you can resist again. You can resist and get right in the beginning, so that will give you a few cards from the founders edition, which is going to be then that you need to claim that on a Kickstarter campaign. But you can get that right now, because we won't get that on the Kickstarter campaign. So that's quite important for you to do the pre-registration on the Kickstarter, on the pre-campaign. Sorry. Once again, guys, thank you, and see you soon. Bye bye.